Okay. Help me with this. Mike, I'll put up Mike, and if you would be so kind, Carson, is to put up Lisa, because if I do that, I'll hang up. Thank you. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Dr. Laura. My husband is on the line with us.
Oh, hi, Mike.
How you doing?
Good. How long have you guys been married?
6 years?
Any marriages before that for either one of you?
No.
Any kids?
Yes, a 5-month-old and a 2-year-old.
Oh. How come nobody's screaming?
One's in daycare, and the other one is just playing right now, so hopefully he lasts.
One's in daycare?
Yes, she goes twice a week, full days. When I go back to work, they'll be full-time, so we didn't want to have a total shock for her to take her completely out while I had this baby and go.
So you've never heard my show, and you have no common sense about children. So you think it's a good idea that your kid is in a place where she's not loved all day. You think that's a good idea?
I see where you're coming from, but what about when I go back to work?
Well, you shouldn't be going back to work, or you shouldn't have had kids, or put your kid up for adoption, and have your two-career family. But I don't know what you guys called about, but I'm shocked and horrified that you guys think it's reasonable to put a kid in a place where they're not loved all day. That's insane.
It is owned by our family, not our direct family.
I don't care if it's owned by the Shah of Iran, who doesn't exist anymore. I think that's a disgusting thing to do to a child.
It's a perspective I never considered, and I appreciate that.
You want to be unloved all day, every day, when you're that small and your brain is forming? Do you realize how important you are as a mother? They spend 9 months in your belly hearing your voice, feeling your heart. They come out, and their brains are not finished. It takes a good 5 years for just the basic finishing. And that basic finishing takes place in a context. And the context usually is with a loving mother cooing and teaching and holding and doing dumb stuff with and putting down for naps and munching food and playing games. So they learn to be safe. They learn to be trusting. They know what it is to be loved. They're not loved all day in a daycare center because there are a bunch of other kids they have to compete with. I mean, it's a terrible thing to do to a child. It's terrible. And you ask any grade school teacher, and they can tell you which kids were in daycare and which kids weren't.
On the basis of
whatever you were calling their behavior. So whatever you were calling with, you guys got to rethink this. You cannot do that to a human being.
Well, it might be kind of linked, actually, because, you know, they're in daycare because of working, and the reason we called comes back to money.
Mike, it's your job to provide and protect, you and the police department. That's your job. You're the man. You have a woman, you have 2 kids you got to take care of.
Yeah,
that's your job.
With equality, what's the difference between male and female?
There's a very big difference between male and female, and if you really had to ask that question, then Lisa picked the wrong guy.
I support my wife. If she wants to work, then by all means. Like, I find it to be primitive.
Oh God, you married one of those. I'm so sorry, Lisa, you married one of those. I think you should tell the guy you're married that even though he's completely equivalent to you, that you're actually going to raise these children because that's what they need. In spite of what the two of you want, that's what they need. So since your husband is willing to let you do whatever you want, tell him you're going to stay home and raise your children so they're secure, functional, happy human beings. And the standard of living will have to be adjusted for that.
He would support that, and we would have to make adjustments, and I would probably be the more difficult one to make the adjustments.
That's okay. I will send you my book in praise of stay-at-home moms, and it will reinforce your thoughts and feelings about this, because I do realize you were brought up in an era which said men and women were exactly the same, which is the dumbest thing you have ever heard. Our brains don't work the same on so many levels. It's astonishing. So maybe you guys should just go on the net and look up differences in male and female brains. Just look at that. For example, men are much better at geometry because they're better at three-dimensional. We're not. But we are better at looking at a person and sensing their emotions, which is why we are the center of families and they're the ones that build bridges. I mean, there are exceptions to everything because there are bell curves, but we are very different. They suckle at our breasts, not your husband's. They come out of our bodies, not your husband's. They respond to higher pitched voices before they respond to any other sound. That's us. It's very different. And I could go on. There are thick books on all the difference. The feminists have tried to make it sound like there being a difference put women down. It's very interesting, though, if you know anything about Orthodox Judaism. The men have all kinds of rituals that they have to do that women don't have to do. And some women were complaining, we don't get to go up, we don't get to play with the Torah, we don't get to do this. And the answer is very simple, because in Orthodox Judaism, the whole point is that women are already spiritually higher planes, already closer to God, and it's the men who have to be controlled and trained. So what seemed like a put down turns out to be the biggest compliment there is. So when you look at all of this, and Orthodox anything is usually considered backwards to a lot of people, I consider that esteemed. So that you married a man who's going to let you do whatever you want. Do us all a favor. Be a mother. My number, 1-800-375-2872. We'll be right back.